The worst part about family dinners is pretending to smile while someone twists a knife in your back, especially when that someone is your own sister and she's doing it with the practiced grace of a surgeon. Whitney's still working on finding her path, Quinn announces to the table, reaching for her wine glass. But that's what makes her special. She's our family dreamer. I'm 28 years old, with a master's degree, sitting at my sister's favorite upscale restaurant for her birthday dinner. The same restaurant we go to every year, where she always manages to turn every conversation into a highlight reel of her achievements. Actually, I start, but Mom cuts me off. Quinn just made junior partner, she beams. 31, and already so accomplished. We're beyond proud. Dad nods, his attention fixed on cutting his overpriced steak. The Kent family name means something at her firm now. I take a long sip of water, wishing it was something stronger. The waiter appears with Quinn's chocolate souffle, complete with a sparkler. Perfect timing. It gives everyone an excuse to stop pretending they care about my recent publication on contemporary literature. Before we do dessert, Quinn says, setting down her fork with theatrical precision, I wanted to share some news. I've decided to make some changes with childcare arrangements. The table goes quiet. Even Rose, Quinn's 6-year-old, looks up from her iPad. Paula's been struggling lately, Quinn continues, missing days, making excuses. I had to let her go. Oh no, Mom gasps. She seems so good with the girls. Quinn shrugs. Good isn't good enough. But it got me thinking. She turns to me and I feel my stomach drop. Whitney, you're between opportunities right now. Why don't you come help with the girls? Just temporarily, while you figure things out. The restaurant suddenly feels too warm, too cramped. I'm actually applying for research positions. Come on, sis. Your degree is... She pauses, lips curving into what others might mistake for kindness. Cute. But let's be practical. You need real-world experience, something concrete on your resume. My degree isn't... Think about it, Dad interrupts. Quinn's offering you a chance to contribute meaningfully to the family. I grip my napkin under the table, knuckles white. The same way the family contributed to my education, when the fund mysteriously ran dry right before my final year of grad school? The silence that follows is sharp enough to cut glass. Whitney, Mom says quietly, warning in her tone. We've been through this. The education fund was depleted. Your father and I helped where we could. Quinn reaches across the table, patting my hand. Not everyone needs an advanced degree, sweetie. Look how well I did with just my JD. Just her JD. Just her fully funded law degree. Her gap year in Europe. Her perfect trajectory. I pull my hand away. I should head home, I say, standing. Early morning tomorrow. But we haven't done presents, Quinn protests. Happy birthday, I manage, grabbing my coat. I'll call you tomorrow. I don't wait for their responses. Outside, the autumn air hits my face like a wake-up call. My phone buzzes. Probably Mom, ready to lecture me about family loyalty and gratitude. Instead, it's Jessie. How was the dinner from hell? I start walking, faster than necessary. Remember when we were kids and Quinn convinced me the family cookie jar was empty, but really she was hiding all the cookies in her room? Yeah? I think she's still doing it, with slightly higher stakes. What do you mean? I pause at a crosswalk, remembering something. I need to stop by Dad's office tomorrow. He still has that spare key under the ficus, right? Whitney, what are you planning? The light changes and I step into the street. Nothing yet. But I have a feeling I'm about to find some very interesting crumbs. Just be careful, Jessie says. You know how your family gets when anyone questions the Quinn narrative. I hang up, my steps purposeful now. Tomorrow, I'll go to Dad's office during lunch, when I know he'll be at his standing golf game. I'll look for that old notebook he always used to track the family accounts, the one Quinn probably thinks he destroyed years ago. My sister might be the golden child, but she forgot one thing. Sometimes the family dreamer wakes up, and when she does, She might just find out that dreams and revenge look surprisingly similar in the right light. Dad's office smells like leather and expensive regret. The ficus is exactly where it's always been, and the spare key is still taped under its pot. Some habits never change. I let myself in during lunch, my heart thundering against my ribs. "You're sure about this?" Jesse's voice crackles through my phone speaker. "No," I whisper, moving toward Dad's desk, "but I'm doing it anyway." The bottom drawer sticks slightly. It always has. Inside, beneath a stack of golf magazines and old receipts, I find it. The black leather notebook, its spine cracked from years of use. My hands shake as I open it. "It's here," I breathe, flipping through pages of Dad's meticulous handwriting. "Jesse, the education fund. It's still active. There are entries from last month." "How much?" I nearly drop the phone when I see the number. Over $200,000. They told me it was empty. They made me take out loans. "Take pictures," Jesse says. "Document everything." My phone's camera clicks rapidly as I capture page after page. Transactions, dates, amounts. Quinn's name appears repeatedly. Law school tuition, housing allowance, European gap year expenses. All while I was told there wasn't a penny left. A noise in the hallway makes me freeze. I quickly return the notebook, close the drawer, and slip out the back door. My hands don't stop shaking until I'm 3 blocks away. Later that evening, Mom calls. "Honey, about dinner last night." "I've been thinking about Quinn's offer," I lie, opening my laptop to check international PhD programs. "Oh?" The hope in her voice is almost painful. "It would be such a wonderful opportunity. You know Quinn only wants to help." "Right. Help." I click on a program in Amsterdam that makes my heart race. Cultural studies with a focus on power dynamics in literature. "Mom, what happened to the education fund?" "Really?" The pause is telling. "Whitney, we've been through this. It was depleted years ago. Your father and I—" "Because I found some old papers," I interrupt, "showing transactions from last year. Those must be mistakes. Or maybe you misunderstood. You know numbers were never your strong suit, unlike Quinn." "I'm going to call Mr. Roberts," I say, naming the fund's trustee, "just to clarify things." "Don't." The sharpness in her voice confirms everything. That's not necessary. Why don't you come over for dinner tomorrow? We can discuss Quinn's childcare needs properly." I decline and end the call, my cursor hovering over the PhD application portal. An email notification pops up. It's from Professor Nolan Gray, responding to my inquiry about the Amsterdam program. "Your research proposal is intriguing," he writes. "I'd love to discuss it further. Are you available for a video call?" Jesse comes over that night with takeout and determination. We spread my documents across my small apartment's floor. Bank statements, loan papers, photos of Dad's notebook. "Look at this." Jesse points to a series of transfers. They funded Quinn's entire law school experience, including a villa rental in Italy, while telling you the fund was empty. "Classic Quinn," I mutter, reaching for my phone as it buzzes. It's Quinn herself. "Hey, dreamer," she chirps. "Have you thought more about my offer? The girls really need stability, and who better than their aunt?" "I'm exploring some options," I say carefully. "Options?" She laughs. "Whitney, let's be realistic. Your degree is, well, it's not exactly marketable. I'm offering you a chance at real experience." "Like the experience you got in Italy?" The words slip out before I can stop them. The line goes silent for a moment. "What are you talking about?" "Nothing," I backtrack. "I'll think about the nanny position." After hanging up, I turn to Jesse. "Help me with this application." We work late into the night, crafting my research proposal, polishing my CV. The Amsterdam program looks more perfect with every paragraph I read. Full funding isn't guaranteed, but accepted students can apply for grants and use existing education funds. "You know they'll try to stop you," Jessie warns as we finish up. I look at the submit application button, then at the photo of Dad's notebook showing the education fund's healthy balance. They can try, but first, they'll have to admit they've been lying all these years. And if they don't, I think of Quinn's condescending smile, of all the times I was told to dream smaller, be more practical, more like my sister. Then I'll make them. With a click, my application goes through. The first move in a game they don't even know we're playing. Yet, the coffee shop is quiet when Paula walks in, looking exactly like someone who spent years managing Quinn's children, exhausted but alert. She spots me and makes her way over, clutching her purse like armor. "Thanks for meeting me," she says, sliding into the booth. "I wasn't sure if I should call, but Quinn's been telling people you were fired for negligence?" Paula's laugh is bitter. Is that what she's saying now? I quit, after she refused to pay me for 3 weeks of overtime and threatened to ruin my references if I complained. I push a coffee toward her. Tell me everything. For the next hour, Paula unravels a familiar pattern. Quinn making impossible demands, changing schedules last minute, requiring Paula to work unpaid hours because we're practically family. All while living in her luxury apartment, funded by the education trust I was told didn't exist. My phone buzzes, Mom again. I silence it. "And now she wants you to take over?" Paula shakes her head. "Don't do it. She'll drain you dry. Like she drained the family education fund?" The words slip out before I can stop them. Paula's eyes sharpen. "Is that what they told you? Because last month, Quinn was bragging about using it to fund some professional development program in Switzerland." My coffee goes cold as Paula shares more details. By the time we say goodbye, I have enough notes to fill a small book. Back home, I find 3 missed calls from Mom and a text from Jessie. "Professor Nolan wants to video chat. Call me." Before I can, my laptop pings with an email from Quinn. "Hey, Dreamer. The girls are asking about their Aunt Whitney. Mom mentioned you're being difficult about the childcare position. Let's grab coffee tomorrow and discuss this properly. Family helps family." I forward it to Jessie with just one word. "Wow." The response is immediate. She's getting desperate. "Did you see the nanny agency reviews?" I hadn't, but a quick search shows me multiple warnings about Quinn, describing her as impossible to work with and financially unreliable. My phone rings, Professor Nolan's number. I take a deep breath and answer. "Whitney? Nolan Gray here. I've been reviewing your proposal on power dynamics in contemporary literature. It's fascinating work." My heart skips. "Thank you, But that's not why I'm calling. I've heard through colleagues about your published paper on narrative manipulation and family structures. Have you considered expanding that into a doctoral thesis?" For a moment, I can't speak. Someone actually read my work. Someone thinks it matters. Yes, I'd love to." "Excellent. Let's schedule a proper interview. The Amsterdam program could be perfect for..." A knock at my door interrupts us. Through the peephole, I see Mom, Dad, and Quinn. "Professor, I'm so sorry, but can I call you back in an hour?" I open the door to find my family's intervention squad in full force. Quinn's holding a folder labeled Career Planning. "Surprise!" Mom chirps too brightly. "Family dinner." "I brought takeout," Quinn adds, pushing past me, "and some practical ideas for your future." Dad follows, looking uncomfortable but determined. They arrange themselves around my small living room like a tribunal. "Whitney," Quinn starts, opening her folder, "I've mapped out a 5-year plan for you, starting with childcare certification." "No." The word comes out stronger than I expected. "Excuse me?" I said no. "I'm not becoming your unpaid nanny." Mom leans forward. "Honey, we're worried about you. These academic pursuits, they're not leading anywhere. Unlike Quinn's villa in Italy," the words hang in the air like smoke, "or her Swiss professional development program, those were worth funding, right?" Dad's face goes pale. Quinn's smile freezes. I don't know what you think you found, Quinn starts. But Paula says hello, by the way. Quinn stands abruptly. I see what this is. You're jealous, because I actually made something of myself while you waste time with useless degrees and research no one cares about. Professor Nolan cares. I meet her eyes. The Amsterdam PhD program cares. Amsterdam? Mom's voice rises. What are you talking about? Nothing, Quinn cuts in. Because she can't afford it. Right, Dad? Dad won't meet my eyes. He knows what I found in that notebook. Actually, I say, reaching for the acceptance letter that just arrived this morning, let's talk about exactly how I'm going to afford it. And why don't we start with the education fund you all swore was empty? The silence that follows is the loudest thing I've ever heard. There must be some mistake. Mom's voice wavers as she stares at the acceptance letter in her hands. The fund? It's not. Show them, Jessie texts from the other room, where she's been listening through our shared wall. Show them everything. I pull out my phone, opening the photos of Dad's notebook. $200,000. That's the current balance. Here are the transfers to Quinn's law school, her Italy trip, Switzerland, all dated after you told me the fund was empty. Quinn snatches the phone. You went through Dad's private records? That's illegal. Like hiding a trust fund from its beneficiary? I counter. Dad stands suddenly. This discussion is over. Whitney, you're upset, we understand, but breaking into my office. The fund was meant for both of us, I cut in. Grandma's will specifically stated, I needed it more, Quinn explodes. My law degree, my career path, these actually matter. What were you going to do with it? Write more papers nobody reads? My laptop pings. Another email from Professor Nolan. Congratulations on your partial scholarship. Please confirm your funding sources within the week. Quinn reads it over my shoulder, her face darkening. You can't be serious. Amsterdam? A PhD? This is exactly why we had to protect the fund from your impractical... Protect? I laugh. You mean steal. Girls, Mom intervenes, let's all calm down. Whitney, honey, Quinn's children need you here. This Amsterdam thing. It's just another dream. No, I say quietly. It's my future, and I'm done letting you steal it. My phone rings. The trustee's office. I answer on speaker. Miss Kent? This is Margaret from Mr. Roberts' office. We received your inquiry about the Education Trust. I'm calling to confirm that yes, you are indeed a legal beneficiary, and yes, the fund is active with significant balance. Quinn lunges for the phone, but I step back. Thank you, Margaret. Could you email me the full transaction history for the past 5 years? Of course. Though, that's odd. It seems there were instructions not to contact you about the fund. That's highly irregular and potentially... End this call right now, Dad commands. Actually, I continue, I'd love to schedule a meeting with Mr. Roberts to discuss these irregular instructions. Margaret sounds concerned now. Of course. Given the circumstances, I believe he'll want to review this immediately. We take trust violations very seriously. After I hang up, the silence is deafening. Dad's face has gone from red to white. Mom's crying quietly. Quinn looks like she's swallowed glass. You have no idea what you've done, she hisses. Actually, I do. I'm claiming what's legally mine, what you all conspire to keep from me. We did it for your own good, Mom bursts out. Quinn's path? It was just more valuable, I finish. More worthy. Tell that to Professor Nolan. Tell that to the scholarship committee. You ungrateful little... Quinn starts, but Dad grabs her arm. Enough, he says. We need to speak with Roberts before this gets worse. Worse? I laugh. You mean before it becomes public? Before people learn how you funneled my education money to your golden child? Quinn's face twists. You wouldn't dare. Try me. They leave in a hurry after that, Quinn practically dragging Mom, who's still crying about family loyalty and broken trust. The irony would be funny if it wasn't so painful. Jesse comes over as soon as they're gone. I heard everything. Are you okay? No, I admit, hands shaking as I pour wine. But I will be. My laptop pings again. Professor Nolan, just confirmed with the committee. Your partial scholarship covers 40% of tuition. With your trust fund access, you should be fully covered. Shall we proceed with enrollment? Jesse reads over my shoulder. Do it. Right now. I think of Quinn's face when Margaret mentioned trust violations, of Mom's tears, not for the wrong they did me, but for getting caught, of Dad's notebook, documenting years of their betrayal in his precise handwriting. You know they'll try to block the fund transfer, Jesse warns. Let them try. I start typing my response to Professor Nolan. The trustee's office is already involved. They can't hide anymore. Quinn's going to lose it. I think of all the times I dimmed my light to make my sister shine brighter, of the loans I shouldn't have needed, of being called a dreamer like it was an insult. Good, I say, hitting send. It's her turn to lose something. The confirmation email arrives instantly. Welcome to Amsterdam University's doctoral program. For the first time in years, my dreams don't feel like something I need to apologize for. The email sits in my drafts folder for 3 days before I finally hit send. Jesse helped me word it perfectly, professional, direct, with just enough legal terminology to make it clear I know my rights. The subject line reads, Education Fund Transfer Request. Immediate action required. 2. Family Group. From Whitney. Subject, Education Fund Transfer Request. Immediate action required. Attached, please find 1. Amsterdam University PhD. Acceptance Letter 2. Partial Scholarship Award. 3. Outstanding Tuition Invoice. 4. Trust Fund Wire Transfer Instructions. 5. Legal Beneficiary Documentation. As per grandmother's will and trust specifications, I am formally requesting my portion of the education fund be transferred by Friday. Mr. Roberts has been CC'd on this correspondence. Regards, Whitney. The response is immediate. My phone explodes with notifications. The family group chat, silent for days, suddenly springs to life. Quinn, are you insane? Mom, please call me immediately. Dad, this is unacceptable. Quinn, I'm coming over. Mom, Whitney, answer your phone. I silence everything except Jesse's messages. Stay strong. Don't answer any calls. Mr. Roberts replies first. Request received and noted. Given recent discoveries of fund mismanagement, I've frozen all outgoing transfers pending review. Whitney's request will take priority. Quinn's response comes seconds later. This is ridiculous. I have pending educational expenses that, Mr. Roberts, all previous transactions are under review. Any further discussion should be through legal channels. I'm still staring at my screen when the pounding starts on my door. Whitney, Quinn's voice carries through the wood. Open this door right now. I peek through the peephole. Quinn's there in her power suit, face flushed with rage. Mom stands behind her, wringing her hands. I can hear you in there, Quinn shouts. You can't hide from this. My phone buzzes with a text from Jesse. Don't open it. They have no power anymore. Whitney, please, Mom pleads through the door. We can talk about this as a family. Like we talked about the fund, I call back, or like we talked about my loans. That was different. Quinn's voice rises. I had a plan, a real career path. You're just running away to play student forever. I lean against the door. Mr. Roberts seems very interested in your real career path expenses. You vindictive little, Quinn starts, but Mom cuts her off. Honey, please, think about what this will do to the family, to Quinn's reputation at her firm. Should have thought about that before committing trust fund fraud, I mutter. My phone pings, an email from Professor Nolan. Housing arrangements confirmed. Welcome package en route. We're excited to have you join us. Another bang on the door. Dad's meeting with the bank tomorrow, Quinn threatens. This isn't over. Actually, it is. I raise my voice. The fund is frozen. Mr. Roberts is investigating. Maybe spend less time threatening me and more time explaining those villa receipts? The silence that follows is delicious. You're making a mistake, Mom says finally, her voice trembling. Quinn needs that money for what? I snap. Another luxury educational retreat? More professional development in Switzerland? Those were legitimate expenses, Quinn protests. Tell it to the trust auditor. I hear Quinn's heels clicking as she paces. Fine. Fine. You want to blow up this family? Congratulations. But don't come crying when your little Amsterdam adventure fails and you need help. Like you helped Paula? I ask sweetly. By the way, her lawyer says hello. More silence. Then Quinn's voice, deadly quiet. You've made an enemy you can't afford, little sister. No, I reply, equally soft. I've just stopped being afraid of one. Their footsteps finally retreat. I slide down the door, hands shaking as I text Jessie. They came. They left. It's done. Jessie replies instantly, You okay? I look at my laptop, where the Amsterdam acceptance still glows on the screen, at the email from Mr. Roberts confirming the fund investigation, at Quinn's increasingly desperate messages about her pending expenses. Yeah, I type back. For the first time in years, I really am. My phone buzzes one last time. A message from Rose, Quinn's daughter, sent from Mom's phone. Aunt Whitney, are you really going away? Mom's really mad, but I think it's cool you're going to be a doctor. I smile, typing back, Not that kind of doctor, sweetie. But yes, I'm going to study things I love. Can I come visit? Before I can answer, the message disappears, deleted from the chat. But it doesn't matter. For once, I'm not the one being deleted. Mr. Roberts' office feels too small for the amount of tension it contains. Quinn sits ramrod straight in her designer suit, Mom dabs at her eyes with a tissue, and Dad stares out the window like he's planning an escape. I focus on the stack of papers Mr. Roberts is methodically arranging on his desk. Let's review the facts, he begins, adjusting his glasses. The Education Trust was established for both granddaughters, with equal access and distribution rights. But circumstances changed, Dad interrupts. Quinn's career path. Required hiding the fund's existence from me? I ask quietly. Mr. Roberts holds up a hand. The documentation shows systematic exclusion of one beneficiary, coupled with questionable expenditures. He pulls out a paper. For example, this villa rental in Italy, classified as educational housing. Quinn leans forward. That was a legitimate study abroad expense. For 3 months after your bar exam? Mr. Roberts raises an eyebrow. And these Swiss retreats? The luxury car lease for professional transportation? Mom's tissue shredding intensifies. Surely we can handle this privately. Like you handled my student loans? I cut in. The ones I shouldn't have needed? You ungrateful, Quinn starts, but Mr. Roberts cuts her off. Ms. Quinn, I'd be very careful about accusations right now. The trust violations here are serious. We're talking potential legal consequences. The color drains from Quinn's face. Legal? Fraud? Mr. Roberts says simply. Misappropriation of funds. Deliberate concealment from a beneficiary. The trust executor, that's me, could be required to report this. Dad finally turns from the window. What do you want, Whitney? What was already mine? My share of the fund, transferred to Amsterdam University. That's not possible, Quinn snaps. I have commitments. Your commitments, Mr. Roberts interjects, are precisely the problem. The fund isn't your personal account. He slides a document across the desk. Here's what's going to happen. The fund will be split equally, as originally intended. Whitney's portion will be transferred for her PhD program. The remaining amount... Remaining? Quinn's voice rises. But my professional development program next month has been canceled, Mr. Roberts finishes, along with all future discretionary spending until a full audit is complete. Mom starts crying in earnest now. This will ruin Quinn's reputation at the firm. You should have thought about that, I say, when you were ruining my credit with unnecessary loans. Quinn stands abruptly. This isn't over. Daddy, tell him. Sit down, Dad says tiredly. It's over. But. Quinn. His voice is sharp. Enough. Mr. Roberts slides another document forward. I need signatures from all parties acknowledging the fund division and transfer authorization. Quinn's hand shakes as she signs. I hope you're happy, destroying this family for your little academic fantasy. I take the pen. Funny. I thought the destruction started when you stole my education fund. Mom refuses to sign it first, but Dad takes her hand. Laura, please, before this gets worse. Worse? She looks at me pleadingly. Whitney, we only wanted what was best. For Quinn, I finish. I know. Sign the paper, Mom. After they leave, Mr. Roberts hands me a final document. Your transfer will process within 48 hours. And Whitney, your grandmother would be proud. She believed in education above all else. Outside, Quinn's waiting by my car. You've ruined everything. No, I say, unlocking my door. I just stopped letting you ruin me. The partners at my firm will hear about this. Every law office in the city will hear how you misappropriated trust fund money, committed fraud. Great plan. She grabs my arm. You think you're so clever with your PhD and your justice, but you're still just the family disappointment playing dress-up in academia. I pull out my phone, hitting play on a recording. Quinn's voice fills the air, admitting to hiding the fund, to lying about its depletion. Speaking of clever, I say as her face pales, that's just one recording. I have others. Want to guess how many laws you broke on tape? She releases my arm like it burns. You wouldn't. Try me. Now move away from my car. As I drive away, my phone buzzes with a message from Professor Nolan. Housing contract ready for signature? Welcome to your future. I smile, thinking of Quinn's face when Mr. Roberts mentioned fraud, of Dad's tired surrender, of Mom's tears that came too late. Jessie texts, How did it go? It's done, I reply. The money transfers tomorrow. And Quinn? I think of my sister's threats, her rage, her shattered illusion of control. She just learned what happens when the family disappointment stops disappointing. The airport terminal buzzes with early morning energy as Jessie helps me check my bags. 2 suitcases, 1 carry-on, and a laptop bag containing my entire life's next chapter. Did you pack the power adapters? Jessie asks, scanning my boarding pass. Yes, Mom, I tease. But my smile fades as I spot actual Mom hurrying through the terminal, Quinn trailing behind her. Whitney, Mom calls out, waving frantically. Wait! Jessie steps slightly in front of me. Want me to run interference? No, I sigh. Let's get this over with. Mom reaches us first, out of breath and clutching her purse. You weren't going to say goodbye? I said goodbye last week. Remember? When you told me I was breaking your heart? Quinn catches up, looking distinctly uncomfortable in casual clothes. The partners are furious about the trust fund audit, she says, without preamble. Not my problem. They're questioning my judgment, my integrity. Still not my problem. Mom grabs my hand. Please, honey, we can still fix this. Quinn's firm is threatening to what? I pull my hand away. Review her questionable expenses. Investigate her misuse of educational funds. Again, not my problem. You're being vindictive, Quinn snaps. No, Jessie cuts in. She's being independent. There's a difference. A small voice pipes up. Aunt Whitney. Rose appears from behind Quinn, breaking away to run toward me. I kneel down to hug her, breathing in her familiar strawberry shampoo scent. I made you something, she whispers, pressing a folded paper into my hand. It's a drawing of what looks like me in a graduation cap, standing in front of a building labeled Smart People School. Mom says you're running away, Rose continues, but I think you're running towards something better. Quinn grabs Rose's shoulder. That's enough. We're leaving. Actually, I stand up. I have something for Rose. I pull out a small package. Open it when you get home. Whitney, Mom tries one last time. Think about what you're throwing away. Family is everything. Funny, I check my watch. I don't remember family meaning much when you were hiding my inheritance. The first boarding call for Amsterdam echoes through the terminal. That's me, I say, grabbing my carry-on. Jessie, I'll call you when I land. Whitney, please? Mom's crying again. We love you. Love shouldn't come with conditions, Mom, or price tags. Quinn steps forward. When this fails, when you're drowning in a foreign country with your useless degree, don't come crawling back. I think of the package I gave Rose, a copy of my published paper, with a note explaining that dreams aren't silly, and that sometimes the black sheep of the family is just a wolf who refused to play sheep anymore. Goodbye, Quinn. Good luck with the audit. Jessie hugs me tight. Show them all, she whispers. At the security gate, I turn back one last time. Mom's still crying. Quinn's already on her phone, probably damage controlling her career. But Rose is opening my package early, her eyes wide as she reads the note. 6 hours later, somewhere over the Atlantic, my phone pings with a message from Jessie. You won't believe what happened after you left. Tell me. Quinn's firm called. The trust fund audit triggered a broader financial review. They're suspending her pending investigation. Another message pops up from Paula, Quinn's ex-nanny. Your sister's being investigated by the Bar Association. Something about misrepresented educational expenses. Karma's beautiful. I order a glass of wine from the flight attendant, smiling as I type back to Jessie. How's Mom taking it? Complete meltdown. Keeps saying you destroyed the family. I told her the family destroyed itself when they chose Quinn's greed over your dreams. My phone buzzes again. An email from Rose, sent from her tablet. Dear Aunt Whitney, I read your paper. I don't understand all the big words, but I like that it's about standing up for yourself. Mom's really mad right now, but Dad says she did it to herself. Can I really visit you in Amsterdam? The plane banks east, toward my future. Toward a place where my degree isn't useless, where my dreams aren't impractical, where I don't have to apologize for wanting more than what my family decided I deserved. I text Rose back, of course you can visit, and remember what I wrote. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is believe in ourselves when no one else will. The sun sets outside my window, painting the clouds in shades of victory. Somewhere below, Quinn's carefully constructed world is unraveling, thread by thread. But up here, at 35,000 feet, I'm finally, completely free. My laptop screen fills with Jessie's grinning face during our weekly video call. So, how does it feel to be published in the top academic journal in your field? I spin in my Amsterdam apartment's desk chair, holding up the journal featuring my latest research. Surreal. Professor Nolan says it's already being cited by other scholars. Better than being cited by Quinn's audit investigators? Jessie smirks. Speaking of, I lean closer to the screen. Any updates from home? Jessie's smile widens. Oh, you're going to love this. Quinn's firm didn't just suspend her. They're making her repay all those educational expenses she claimed. And the Bar Association's ethics committee is involved now. How's she taking it? About as well as you'd expect. She's had to downsize her apartment, and no nanny will work for her after what happened with Paula. My phone buzzes with a text from Rose. Mom's crying again because she has to sell her car. Dad says actions have consequences. I got an A on my essay about your paper. Rose is thriving, I tell Jessie. She's already talking about studying abroad when she's older. Unlike her mother, who's been banned from international educational travel. Jessie laughs. Oh, and your mom called me yesterday. I tense. What did she want? To know if you'd received her letter of apology. I did. I glance at the unopened envelope on my desk. Haven't read it yet. You should. Not for her, but for you. A knock at my door interrupts us. Hold on, I tell Jessie, going to answer it. It's Professor Nolan, holding a newspaper. Have you seen this? The headline reads, Prestigious law firm faces scrutiny over trust fund mismanagement. Quinn's name features prominently in the article. Your sister's creative accounting has sparked quite the investigation, he says. But that's not why I'm here. We want you to present your research at the International Conference on Power Dynamics next month. I stare at him. Really? Your work on family power structures and financial manipulation has resonated deeply with scholars worldwide. Sometimes personal experience creates the most compelling academic insights. After he leaves, I return to Jessie's call. You're not going to believe this. I can believe anything at this point, she says. Your revenge turned into legitimate academic success while Quinn's practical career imploded. It's poetic. I finally open Mom's letter. Her handwriting is shaky. Dear Whitney, I was wrong. We were all wrong. Watching you succeed while Quinn faces the consequences of her actions, our actions, has opened my eyes. Your father and I enabled something terrible, and you paid the price. Until you didn't. I'm proud of you, not despite your choices, but because of them. Rose talks about you constantly, about being brave enough to stand up for yourself. She's applying to academic summer camps now. I know we don't deserve forgiveness, but I hope someday we can build something new, something honest. Love, Mom. Well, Jessie asks, watching my face. She's learning, I say quietly. Too late. But she's learning. My phone buzzes again. An email from Paula. Remember those recordings you have of Quinn? The ethics committee would love to hear them. Karma's not done yet. I forward the email to Quinn with one line. Your choice. Like it should have been mine. Jessie raises an eyebrow. Giving her an out? No, giving her a chance to face consequences honestly for once. Her choice. My university email pings. Confirmation of my speaking slot at the conference. The topic, Hidden Inheritance, Power Dynamics in Family Financial Abuse. Perfect timing, Jessie says. Quinn can cite you in her ethics defense. I laugh, then stop as another text comes through. From Quinn herself. I'll submit the recordings myself. You were right, about everything. I'm sorry. Look at that. Jessie whispers. The golden child finally tarnished herself. I look around my apartment, at the academic journals with my name in them, at the conference invitation, at the view of Amsterdam through my window, at the life I built from the ashes of their betrayal. No, I reply to Jessie, she just finally faced the truth. And sometimes, truth is the best revenge. I send one final text to Rose. Remember what I told you about wolves and sheep? Sometimes the wolf isn't the villain. Sometimes she's just the first one brave enough to stop pretending. Rose replies instantly, Mom showed me her letter to you. She cried when I told her I want to be like you instead of her. Is that bad? No, I type back. It's growth. For everyone. I turn back to Jessie's call, to my best friend who stood by me through everything. Want to help me prepare my conference speech? Always, she grins. Let's show them what a useless degree can do.